as time flies by, you'll open up your eyes wide. You feel it's gonna go your way. Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. Hey, hey, hey.
Welcome back to Marbella Now. My name is Nicole King, and I'm delighted to welcome back to the program Barbara of Marbella Translators. When you say translating, people just ask English people, like myself, oh, you speak English, translate this. But even I wouldn't like to do the job. It's a big responsibility to get the exact meaning intended, and that's why everyone should use a professional translator, because it's so obvious when you don't. Barbara, welcome back to the program.
Thank you.
Really
Welcome.
lovely to see you again. And I can never stress enough to people who ask people like myself, oh, it's 2 phrases, 1 sentence, translate it for me. But it really needs to be done properly. And how do you manage to get people to understand the difference of when you get professionals than when they do it themselves? I mean, it's such a challenge for me to explain to people. I know I'm English, but it's not something I want to do.
Actually, we're a group of translators, and we're all qualified. We've studied, and we're all native into the language we translate into. And we all have a long working experience, and this is the main key for a good translation, experience, and of course being native. And I think it's very important, and everybody knows that, for example, for a company, if you translate a brochure, the first image that the clients will get from your company is this translation, and it's really very, very important to take care of that and to use professional services.
When I first went to the Ciudad de las Ciencias in Valencia, a fabulous place, I was blown away. But more than anything else, the takeaway was the lousy translation. They spent so much money on building it, and then they obviously just had a person who spoke a language and said, you do the translation, and it was so bad.
Yeah, it's
and that
very
is typical here in restaurants, bars, and as you say, it's the first thing and the main thing we remember afterwards.
Exactly, and we're always out of time, even big companies, when they have done all the work for the webs, the online work, and the translations are like the last thing they think about, and it's always like, quick, we need it for tomorrow, and we have to do our printings, and it's really very sad, and it's something we have always to repeat, that you have to give time to the translator to do a real good job, to be able to get into the item and revise what they've done, and really rely on our professionality, and it's really very, very important. We have to insist everywhere and always, really.
As I say, a lot of people ask me, oh, just translate this, and it's like, no, you do need a professional. One of my very good friends in Madrid works in the same job as you, and she's actually like an account manager. Yeah. So she rechecks everything that's done, and they specialize in air conditioning units, for example.
Yeah.
But it's very important because there's certain terminologies, like I used to translate for a lawyer in Marbella, and I used to say compraventa, buying and selling, but in English it's conveyancing.
Of course.
So it's like, it's nothing to do with the literal translation. It's important to understand the terminology of each profession and get the right meaning.
Exactly. Actually, the difference between us and other people who translate is, in fact, that we have the translator for each type of job and terminology. We have, for example, medical translators. This is something that sadly we do very often. Foreigners that are ill and want to check the medical reports and send them to the countries, for example. We have sworn translators who do this legal translations for certificates, birth certificates or whatever. And we also have commercial translators who have to know how to write and how to sell for the big hotels this atmosphere, and it's like being more or less a writer. So each type of translation needs a different translator, someone who's really specialized in this theme you're talking about.
I have to say, I can only appeal to any manager, boss, owner. Please don't ask an employee who speaks the language to translate whatever it is you need translating, because it's not fair on them, and it's very unlikely you're going to reproduce the same quality of presentation in your own language. So I think it's better to just do your own language and nothing else, or get a professional to do the translations, because I think it actually does more harm than good with a bad translation. It looks like you don't know what you're doing.
Exactly, and I think people really are not aware that translation is not so expensive as they think, and they should just give us a ring or send us an email to contact@marbellatranslators.com and ask for a quote. We will do them without any compromise, and we're happy to do that. So
you have a very nice company, and it's really nice how you get involved with the community. Last year, you very kindly translated our United Nationalities of Marbella press release to send out to everyone in Russian and Danish and this and that. So once again, thank you very much for that. But I do know I'm better off just to do it in English, or not add any other languages. And I said, I'm fluent in Spanish and I'm fluent in English, but it's not the same, and I really know it's not. So I know sometimes people get upset with me when I refuse, but it is a big responsibility.
it is, and you are right refusing it.
No, we
Everyone
have to do what we know we can do,
Exactly.
and then pass on to the professionals that you know what you're doing.
Exactly.
In fact, we were at a zoo just over the weekend, and it was amazing. But we all came home talking about how lousy the translation was and how funny it was.
Yeah.
And it was very sad because the message was important. The place was spectacular, again, like the Museo de Ciencias de Valencia. But again, they just obviously hadn't put that thought into the need of getting a professional translation. How have you found it during lockdown? I mean, everybody has suffered in some way. Barbara, has your profession also suffered, or has it been a boom for you of everybody needing to communicate?
Well, in reference to translations, we went on working with normality because we mainly work online, so it has not been a huge difference, and we have to say that a lot of people has had more time, well, we all had more time to just sit down and redo their websites and brochures, and so we had plenty of work with regards to translation. But of course, interpretation, face-to-face work has completely stopped. We also do interpretations. I didn't mention that, Nicole, and we had a very big congress, for example, organized for the month of April. They postponed it until November, and it has finally been, well, not cancelled. They have decided to do it online, and this is now the key for our future, no? The online interpretation, remote interpretation. So this will be the way out for interpreters to go on doing their work, but now online. We had to adapt like all the other companies to this pandemic and to this future.
It's funny, actually, because I think it's opened a lot of more doors for us to realise there are more ways of connecting.
Yeah.
Good for our planet that we don't have to maybe travel to everything with certain meetings that can be done online. I was surprised at how personal it could be doing interviews online during lockdown, whereas I thought if I wasn't seeing the person, it wouldn't be possible. We actually had more time to chat before, and then the interview, and then we had time to chat afterwards. So I actually met people for the first time who I've known for years, but never had that chance to actually then have time to chat, because we're always rushing off. I've got to go here, I've got to go there.
Exactly, and we lose a lot of time, I think. For me, one of the main points of the lockdown was to be aware how much time I lose, driving from one place to the other, and I think we have always to try to have the good point of everything, and of course, realizing that we can do things in a different way and take our time and maybe do an effort in online communication and be more at home with the family maybe it's the future and it's not so bad.
And I think it's actually a gift in disguise for us to realize that living at the same time as working is important. And you're lucky because you get to do that, because your other half, as of, is it in November? Which day in November? The skiing season starts
Oh yeah,
again.
the 28th of November. They just confirmed in Sierra Nevada last week.
Well, that is exciting because your other
Very.
half is... Tell us a little bit about how you were involved with the skiing in Sierra Nevada.
Yeah, we have a Marbella ski club. It's the first ski club in Marbella. We obviously ski in Sierra Nevada, and it's very interesting because lots of people in Marbella love skiing, and we have managed to make different groups of kids in the same age, and we drive up for the weekend, and they have their lessons, and then we spend time together, parents and kids. The kids learn how to ski and how to make new friends, being in nature, sport, and it's already nearly 7 years that we've been involved with Club Ski Marbella, and it's really very nice and a very happy adventure that we're always involved in every year.
And Sierra Nevada is just idyllic.
It
I mean,
is.
it's just a beautiful place to go. It feels like you're like completely in a different world. Another time, it's just like this little tiny village. It's so cute.
Exactly, it's worth a visit. Whoever has never been in Sierra Nevada, being in Marbella, it's really worth a
And
visit.
the après ski is also
Very
well worth
interesting, yeah. Too interesting. Well, now probably it will end earlier, so it will be fine in order to wake up early and be able to ski.
Well, it really is a great way to spend a weekend. And I definitely, when my kids were young, I sent them with the school to go skiing, and it's served them very well. They love going up to Sierra Nevada.
Yeah.
And it's only actually, you can go and come back in the day as well. It's not that far. It's what, 3.5 hours, I suppose?
Yeah,
Three-
2.5, I think. It's not so, not so
Maybe
long.
drive a bit faster than that.
Okay.
You do the road a bit more often. So it's like, but no, it's really nice.
Yeah.
So, Barbara, lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you too.
Congratulations. I'm really glad that people are catching on that official translations are necessary. Please don't try and do it yourselves, because there's certain things I've read being around about in the Costa del Sol that it's like vergüenza ajena. I'm ashamed that an English person has put that out and not known to say, please get to a professional. Marbella translators for any translations you need doing, and of course the Marbella ski if you want your kids to go skiing or you want to go skiing. Barbara, lovely to see you again.
Thank you. Lovely to see you, Nicole. Thank you.